Y'all know what time it is. It's the bottom line. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Everybody's doing good. We up and at 'em. I don't know where you're logging in from, but hope you're having a good one, and I hope you had a good night and you slept good. Thursday, January 30th, 2025. We have a lot going on in the world. We have a lot of pressing and breaking news that we got to get on. I wanted to share something with you guys this morning. Normally, I don't cover news like this because it's very serious. It may make a person feel a certain way, and it could get, YouTube might want to get me in trouble because they might say that it's too suggestive or whatever. But I still feel that I need to cover it due to the fact that it's something that's going on right now. It's top of the line news and everybody is talking about it. So we're going to break to that as soon as we go over our titles, because I also don't want you to feel as if we're not covering things that are very serious to heart. So because the other day when it was Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, we didn't cover it in depth, and I really wanted to make sure that in the future I never do that again. So I want to make sure that we cover sensitive issues and sensitive topics, but I have to be careful due to the fact that I don't want to get struck and then they might not monetize the video. So with that being said, let's still get into it and let's do what we do, y'all. Good morning, everybody out there. How are we starting this morning off? Look, oh my God, we got President Trump as Mr. Freeze. First you freeze it and then you unfreeze. Okay, freeze on and then unfreeze. Okay, so he puts a freeze on the freeze that he put on federal funding in different departments. President Trump changes his position on the federal freeze. We also have Los Angeles mayor who's being pressed by the families over the recovery of the wildfires. Families want to get in, they want to start cleaning their properties and starting to get rid of all of the burnt stuff, recovering whatever they can. But of course, Karen Bass is being in and not letting them do that. But they're basically trying to say that there's toxins and there's still fumes in the air. And that's the reason why they don't want to let the families go in and start to do the recovery and taking, all of the trash out and stuff. Even though the other day she promised when Trump was there that she was going to let them go in and get their stuff. You guys remember that if you was watching that episode. We also have Eric Adams, who's been are his federal charges going to be dropped? Are his federal charges gonna be dropped? Because he's actually been called in to sit down with Congress. And then yesterday we find out that his lawyer was sitting down with the federal prosecutor who brought charges against him. And they're saying that they may even suspend the charges. Okay, we also have United Airlines flight that loses altitude over Africa, and it shocked the passengers that was on board. I'm talking about like food, all sorts of food trays and stuff like that was on the ground. But again, we have something even more serious than just a little rumble and turbulence. We have the serious issue that I like to get into first, which is what happened with the Midair collision over Reagan Airport. I want you guys to see what happened from a witness standpoint. And we're just going to cover part of it. Don't want to get struck. Don't want to get in any trouble for sensitive content, as we're not all the way out of that area yet. And there's certain words that I always use, but I know that you guys are smart and you understand why I move the way that we do, because we don't want to get, demonetized and stuff like that. We want to be able to keep on sharing this information. Again, hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. Everybody's out there healthy under the sound of my voice. We have a terrible issue right now that we have to cover, and we just got to do it no matter what. So let's get into it.
You see this happening. You see the sparks flying. What happened next? What did you do next?
So I was turning my head to the left and I was driving, right? So I looked at this for, it couldn't have been more than 2 seconds, and then I needed to look back at the road. And then I looked back again. I wondered if I was going to see an explosion, a crash into the ground. I was trying to decide if I should call 911. This was all happening very, very quickly. So I wasn't thinking entirely rationally. But I turned back and I didn't see anything. I didn't see a plane hit the ground. I didn't see flames or an explosion or smoke. I didn't see emergency lights. It was so brief what I saw that I actually wondered for a moment if I had hallucinated it some way. And I kept driving, and just a few seconds later, I was too far along to be able to turn my head back and see the airport anymore. So I looped back.
So as you can see what it says on the board here, that's what happened. This is a witness account of someone who was driving, and they actually were able to see the tragedy that you guys know what's going on right now with this mid-air collision with the Black Hawk jet and an American Airlines jet. I'm sorry, a Black Hawk chopper with the American Airlines jet that collided.
Around, I U-turned on the highway to go back and see if I could see anything. And when I turned back north and drove by the same point, I still didn't see anything. No flames, no crash, no nothing.
All right, Ari Schulman, thank you very much for joining us. And honestly, I'm so sorry that you actually witnessed this happen. I want to go now to Pete Montine. Pete, you've got some breaking news for us?
We just have this in from American Airlines. Spokesperson Sarah Jantz tells me on board this flight, American Airlines, flight 5342, there were 60 passengers on board and 4 crew. This was not a small airplane. This was a regional jet, a flight flying from Wichita, Kansas into Reagan National Airport, just outside of DC on the Virginia side. There were many people on board, very likely that this was a full flight. A CRJ 700 like this can seat between 60 and 70 people, depending on the configuration, depending on what the airline orders. Right now, there is a very frantic search in the Potomac River right now, and Noah Gray of DC Fire tells me they have every resource out there that they possibly can, every resource working as hard as they can to do what they can.
Yeah, so again, don't want to go too into detail because they may start, saying things that may get me in, I don't want to get in any hot water for that. But I did want to make sure that we pressed on it and that we pray for the people that actually are stuck in that situation right now and hope that there's a lot of rescues. From what I'm hearing, there were people that were actually, I think, in the Olympic swimming or ice skating team or something like that, that were actually on board that flight. So we're giving our prayers and our hopes that everybody comes out. At least, we want to see a lot of healthy, safe people come out of that. We want to pray for a miracle. How about that? We're praying for a miracle with that, what we just saw. That's what we're doing. And I hope you guys are having a good morning. Let's continue going forward, all right? We have also breaking military deportation flights underway. ICE just arrested a gang leader. So they getting them out of here, y'all. I'm talking about one thing Iceman is doing, he's freezing these illegal immigrants in place. Y'all see how Trump is up there today? He got the Iceman suit on. That's because he froze federal funding and then he decided to unfreeze it. So we calling him Mr. Freeze today, right? Trump is now Mr. Freeze. So now he's freezing other situations with this breaking military deportation flights are underway as ICE arrests this gang leaders too. And we got the devil working overtime with the horn outside, but we gonna keep on moving forward like we always do. All right, so what we got? Let's keep on going. What we got here? Military. Let's go, y'all.
With their own citizens.
We're just gonna turn it up.
Hey, so Brooke, I got a question for you. There's a story in our packet today about how down in Florida, 2 vans were being driven that had, I think, 24 Chinese nationals in it. They had been smuggled into the country, apparently. China will not take back their people. Obviously, Ecuador does, and that's why that flight just went there. What other countries have already said, have they either said, no, don't send them, or yes, we'll take them?
We know that a flight went to Guatemala and now Ecuador, and the authorities took them. And again, that flight that I mentioned to Colombia that denied these illegal migrants, this was the perfect example, right? You have them denying their own citizens, not taking them in. President Trump immediately taking action, saying, okay, if you're not going to listen to me, then watch what happens. And this is the perfect example they want to show countries who don't cooperate. You don't listen to us, us will watch what happens next.
Wow. And the reason why they're doing this is because they know that these illegal migrants are criminals. They know that they bad guys in the first place. And that's why they sent them here to us. So why would they take them back if they know that they're some terrible people? Come on now, get that car up out of here. If your horn is messed up, do something with your car. That car's been doing that all week. He needs to really work it out and do something about that whip. Real talk. That's not the first time.
Great reporting, Brooke.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So the bigger question is, Venezuela.
Yeah, so as far as this is concerned with the military deportation, there's so much other stuff going on. It seems like they got really quiet on, they got real quiet on the topic of how he's sending illegal migrants out. Because at first they were saying stuff like, oh, that's inhumane. You're putting them on military planes. So what are you calling it when the military army got to go and get on those flights then? How about that? What you trying to say? We trying to be inhumane to our soldiers? Those flights I just found out, going back to their countries, Venezuela, flights be taking like 7 hours, 80 people at a time. Fast. Phew, get you right back home real quick. As fast as you got here, as fast as they can send you back. So yeah, Mr. Freeze, he's doing his thing right now. Mr. Freeze is got it. He's doing his thing right now, y'all. Real talk. What else we got here? We got an East Cleveland mayor. His name is Brandon King. He's been suspended from office. And it seems like all of our mayors, and it's not surprising anymore. It's kind of like you can make up a story in your head now and just turn around and be like, boop, a couple of months later, it'll either happen or it'll have something to do with what you talked about, because the world is just so crazy right now. We got all these politicians that's stealing. I'm surprised they're telling on each other. I'm talking about we got a lot of theft to go through today. And I'm talking about a whole lot of money, not a little bit of money. Because like we said before, they don't get rich until they get into politics. They be all walking around, getting on these little levels, councilmen and all of that. Once they start to get to these big positions, that's when the big money roll in. Notice that? That's why they try to stay in politics for so long. They be in their 80, 90 years old, all rich. Don't even know what to do with the money that they got because they got so much. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Look at her. And then they go to these like small towns and they try to do real corrupt stuff, bring their family. Let me slide you some bread. Let me do this. They're not stupid. We're not stupid. We know what's up. Yeah, that's that DC plane crash right there. If that's Reagan Airport, yeah, I think that's in DC, and I want to be real keen about what I'm saying on that and very sensitive to the topic because of the tragedy and the loss, and I just want to be very respectful to the recovery efforts on that one. Yeah. Thank you, and thank you guys, and I appreciate you understand. You got my sub, buddy. Thank you for that, guys. Praying for them, right, Vladimir? We gotta pray for them, Vlad. Real talk. Dan, how you doing, Dan? I ain't no weirdo. I'm cool, man. Yeah, Jamming T Judah, DC plane. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. ICE needs to come to Chicago. That's what you said, Lord. They coming. They already there. Oh, watch this. We got a crazy one about Chicago. Y'all stay tuned. We stacking the deck right now. We getting certain things in play, but we stacking the deck to get to exactly what Lord just said. So yeah, we got to keep on moving forward, y'all, because I want y'all to see this East Cleveland mayor situation. Again, his name is Brandon King. He's been suspended from office. Y'all ain't gonna believe this one.
We have breaking news now at 5:30. It involves East Cleveland's mayor. He's been suspended.
It comes as Mayor Brandon King defends himself against corruption charges. News 5 investigator Scott Knoll has been following the story for months now. He's live in the newsroom with the very latest on this decision. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Tracy. The whole process started when Cuyahoga County prosecuting attorney Michael O'Malley started suspension proceedings after Brandon King's indictment. And late this afternoon, a panel of 3 retired judges issued its final ruling. By a 2-to-1 vote, the commission suspended King from office effective immediately. In all, King faces 4 felony charges and 8 misdemeanors. Investigators say while in office, the mayor authorized city contracts paying King or his family more than $76,000. King has pleaded not guilty to those charges. His attorney blames it all on political opponents trying to, in his words, overturn the will of East Cleveland voters. King can now appeal the commission's ruling to the state Supreme Court, and late last year his attorney told me King would do that if the commission voted to suspend the mayor. So what does it all mean? Well, King will still get paid. He also still retains the title of mayor. However, he's not allowed to conduct any of the duties of the office. The suspension will last until the criminal case against King is resolved or he's reinstated by appeal. Now comes the big question of who runs East Cleveland day to day. The city charter actually spells out two different possibilities. If the mayor's absence is, quote, temporary, then the director of finance takes over. But if it's a, quote, a long-term absence, then the president of city council becomes acting mayor. So still a lot to sort out. Live in the newsroom, I'm News 5 investigator Scott.
You see how being good at your job could wind you out being mayor? You'll never know. You'd be like just good at your job, minding your business, being some council person or whatever like that. So the bad thing happened to that person over there for doing something negative, right? But the one that kept on doing his job, boop, now you're the mayor. Oh my God, yes. And he probably deserves it. So let's see what he do. Because sometimes you find good out of bad situations. I've met a ton of bad people in my life through business, through personal relationships, and I've learned a lot from them. I've learned a lot of good things from bad people. How do you learn good things from bad people, Boogotti? Because you see bad people doing bad things and you say to yourself, I don't want to do stuff like that. You learn what you don't want to do as well as what you want to do by watching things and having the wherewithal to figure out what should I do. Just have to have at least some decent type of upbringing with a nice smack on the back of the hand, a couple of don't never hurt, you know? Not gonna lie. You know, everybody in my family used to always complain about how hard my mother was on us and how she used to always tear us up with the belt. My sister used to cry, oh, you always been. Yeah, got older, I said, Ma, you know what? Thank you for every time you put it on me. Because that's what disciplined me. Because I would have been out here acting crazy. And I wouldn't be able to be here to be sensible enough to create the bottom line. So let's keep on going, y'all. What we got? Oh, this is the one with the United Flight Airline. And this is why I'm always scared and nervous to take flights. I don't care how many flights I got on and how many times I've been in the air. I'm very nervous to take a flight because that could be the one. Same way like that situation happened earlier. This situation right here is luckily all they did was lost altitude over Africa and it forced an emergency landing. And you guys, again, you probably wonder why we cover certain things, why we cover certain news, because some of this stuff will not be covered if we don't. And I'm not just the type of person that covers what everybody else doing. We got to find stuff, find jewels, get information, and stack the deck. That's what we do over here because we're smart.
613 at the app. On board United Flight 613 at the aftermath of a terrifying few moments. Passengers holding tight to seat backs. The cabin littered with food and personal belongings. Ceiling panels damaged and smeared with drink residue. It happened just 90 minutes into the flight from Lagos, Nigeria to Washington as flight attendants were serving passenger meals. Flight radar 24 shows the Boeing 787 Dreamliner at 36,000 feet over the Ivory Coast when it experienced a sudden jolt, dropping 185 feet, then climbing more than 200 feet. Passengers and flight attendants went flying, some hitting the ceiling and reportedly unconscious. The pilot quickly announced they briefly lost autopilot and navigation and were returning to Lagos with ambulances waiting. The Nigerian Airports Authority reports 6 people were seriously injured. Another 32 treated for minor injuries. United tells NBC News the plane returned to Lagos after a technical issue and an unexpected aircraft movement.
So we're smart. We already got it. We already understand from the description what happened. If they're saying that people, hit the ceiling and they hurt themselves, that means that a lot of people didn't have their seatbelt on. That's number one. Probably because they were serving food at that time. Number two, the reason why there's all that food in the aisles and everything is because it happened during meal serving time. So we got a lot of sense over here. So we can basically put two and two together from seeing what we got going on here. Also, the reason I wanted you guys to see that is because it's relative to the first video that we saw. Kind of gives you an idea of what it's like to be inside of a plane if something can happen, or what it feels like when, you know, when it gets real riled up. I know it's something terrible to feel and something that you might not want to experience, but that's it right there. And that's part of what it could have been. So it's really scary taking flights. I'm always scared getting on a flight. Every time I get on a flight, I'm scared. Who that? From Vienna. Hello from Vienna. My English is not good as yours, but can somebody tell me what's happening in that plane? I'm gonna tell you what's happening. So what happened in this plane, my buddy, what's your name? Alexandra, that's Alexandra from Vienna. This was a technical issue on a plane that was flying. It lost altitude. And I'm assuming that it did something like this. You know, it jumped when it loses altitude, and then it probably gains altitude again, lost altitude really quick, and everything went flying inside of the airplane, the people, and then of course they got hurt because they probably again didn't have on seat belts because they were being served food at that time.
This could have been something like cruise control in a car that suddenly disconnected and applied the brake. It would provide quite a jolt.
The NTSB says it's joined the investigation into what happened. Meanwhile, United says it paid for passenger hotels and meals back in Lagos, briefly lost autopilot and navigation, and were returning to Lagos with ambulances waiting. The Nigerian Airports Authority reports 6 people were seriously injured. Another 32 treated for minor injuries. United tells NBC News the plane returned to Lagos after a technical issue and an unexpected aircraft movement.
This could have been something like cruise control in a car that suddenly disconnected and applied the brake. It would provide quite a jolt.
The NTSB says it's joined the investigation into what happened. Meanwhile, United says it paid for passenger hotels and meals back in Lagos.
I think everybody should always wear their seatbelt now. I used to always say, nah, I'm not gonna wear my seatbelt. And like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Well, yeah, but you could prevent, you know, jumping up out of your seat and, you know, hitting your head and probably on your neck if you got your seatbelt on. I mean, I know it sucks, but you're about to eat and you're like, you know what, click, keep on putting your seatbelt on. And then you go to the restroom and then you get up and then you probably forget to put it. And then once the light goes on and it says, well, it goes off and it says that you can take your seatbelt off. Normally people do that so they can be comfortable. I'm starting to think that I'm gonna leave my seatbelt on all the time. People are gonna be like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's a lunatic. Why does he keep his seatbelt on all the time? Because I saw this video right here and I got the wherewithal to know I might want to keep my seatbelt on. This is one person right here that couldn't have saved himself with a seatbelt. This ex-Nassau County sergeant, he's been sentenced to 17 years for federal drug crimes. Let me tell you something about this guy right here. When I tell you that he really thought that he was about to be like, what's the name of that movie? Narcos or something like that. He really thought he was about to be on some narco stuff. But on the other side of it, I want y'all to check this out. Because he's been busted and disgusted and yeah, he can't be trusted. Nassau County Sergeant sentenced to 17 years.
A former Nassau County Sergeant will spend more than 17 years in prison for federal drug crimes. James Darrell Hickox, he pleaded guilty to charges of conspiring to distribute narcotics, conspiring to defraud the United States, and tax evasion. News4JAX 19 reporter Tiffany Salome was inside the courtroom for today's sentencing. She spoke with his family and shares the strong words the judge had for Hickox.
And when I ain't even gonna mess this one up, but y'all, this one right here, y'all gonna love this one. Y'all gonna like this one right here. I ain't even gonna stop it no more. But can I get some likes, please? Can we double tap the screen to get some likes? It's 440 people in here. Double tap the screen to let people know that your boy is up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Come on, y'all, let's go. Let's go.
Stealing money and illegal drugs from evidence rooms are just a few things this former Nassau County sergeant is heading to federal prison for. James Darrell Hickox was sentenced to 17.5 years for his actions dating back to 2017. Prosecutors say he abused his role as a task force officer with the Drug Enforcement Administration. During his sentencing, a judge told Hickox You pose a danger to the public.
Because I know my son. He don't belong there. Just got caught up in something he shouldn't have done.
The courtroom was packed with supporters of Hickox as the judge handed down his sentence, including his mom and dad, who shared concerns about his mental health as a DEA agent.
They have to live two lives. You're out slinging dope for the DEA, and then you go home and be a family man.
I can feel it. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Tonight's the night we get in some yeah. Deep cover on some incock. Breaking fools off if I have to, but you know I have to. So basically they trying to say he went too deep cover and he stayed undercover. This is a real deep cover, undercover situation right here, y'all. Let's go. Pops is telling it all. You want to lock my son up for what y'all, what? Let's go. I'm telling everything. Y'all gave him a badge to do it. And when he go overboard because he got stuck, he went too, he went too deep cover. He went too deep, y'all. Telling you he went too deep. Where we at with those likes? Because I'm about to tell you, he's about to turn up. I'm about to let him turn up, but I need them likes to go up. Come on, let's get those likes up. Bop, bop, let's double tap that screen. Bop, bop. I did some research on this one. Come on, y'all. I did some research to get this one to y'all. Come on, show some love to your boy. Let's go.
So why do you think your son committed these crimes?
Darn, he couldn't even answer that. I think because he was around for 10 years, he was a drug dealer for 10 years.
Huh?
If he hadn't had a badge, he was a drug dealer. That's the job DEA has him doing.
Prosecutors said Hickox stole more than 1,000 pounds of marijuana.
What? Sensima, who got the keys to my Beamer? He got 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds, yo. What was you gonna do with those 1,000 pounds? Talk to him. Let him know what's going on with those 1,000 pounds, y'all. Let's go.
Confiscated as evidence during criminal investigations with the intent to sell it. Hickox was also dealing MDMA,
Nah, he was smoking
fentanyl,
that.
and cocaine, and hid over $420,000 from the IRS.
Damn.
Prosecutors called Hickox a thief, a crooked cop, and a drug dealer with a badge.
Nah, he was too deep.
He was a drug dealer. So he becomes a drug dealer and everybody's acting surprised. I'm like, what? You so...
Wait a minute. Pops, you didn't just snitch on your son, did you? Did you just snitch on your son?
He was a drug dealer. So he becomes a drug dealer and everybody's acting surprised. I'm like, what? You so surprised? That's what y'all had him doing for 10 years.
Hickox called himself a guilty man in court Monday, apologizing to his family, the U.S. government, and his co-workers. When asked by the judge why he did what he did, Hickox blamed his actions on the fear of dying and not being able to provide for his family after a cancer diagnosis. In turn, the judge responded, quote, "I don't see how that causes an individual to engage in what you did. I'm having a hard time with that. As a sworn..."
So y'all, do y'all think it really had anything to do with his cancer diagnosis? What you doing with 1,000 pounds, man? You know you was about to put some of that in the air. And if you see the way he smiled, that was not just a regular smile. He hit the L before he went to work. He was in that photo like this. Like he already hit the blank. Like, how y'all doing over there? What's going on? Even in the picture, he looked like he was already lit. Real talk. Let me see. Carpenter seems like an Onion video from 2000. That's wild. Wait a minute. He was going down the hole. Chief Akachi 22, bro, was going down the YouTube rabbit hole and came across this. And hold the fuck up. Wait a minute, was in order. Yes, real talk. Real talk. Real talk. Hold on a minute. Screaming fear louder. I'm scared. Well, there are so many dealers all over the world, even in police, etc. Alexandra. We got Joe, Christian, N.A. He didn't hook one up, so he snitched on them. Joe Christina said Not NA. He didn't hook somebody up, so they snitched on him. Sound like it, right? Carpenter, this timeline really is the best. What else we got? Joseph Wallace, trapped like McDonald's, pull up and pull off. He had a great life, right, Alexandra? Man was smoking big. Tell the truth. You know he was putting it in the air. You know he was pissed. He was putting that in the air. He was hiding in plain sight. He figured if he was the police, yeah, they wouldn't suspect him. Hey, bro, just got on here. Glad you're on here. Yes, Trump thinks he can do anything he wants. Okay. Check this out, y'all. But we here right now, y'all. And his pops just snitched on him, y'all. Hi, he was a drug dealer. What you expect him to do? You gave him a badge. You told him to go out there and lock up drug dealers, so he became a drug dealer. What you expect him to do? Yo. Nah, we gotta run that back real quick. Hold up, y'all. Let's go. One more time on Pops, and then we out of here.
The badge.
He was a drug dealer. So he becomes a drug dealer and everybody's acting surprised. I'm like, why are you so surprised? That's what.
And he really meant that. Like, why are you so surprised? He meant that right there, yo. Like, why are you so surprised? Oh my God. Let's go. Let's finish
Broke
up.
the public's trust. Reporting in Jacksonville, Tiffany Salome, Channel.
So yeah, everywhere we go, like I say this every time we run this and we talk about, people in positions of power, whether it's the police, whether it's politicians, whether whoever it is. With great power comes great responsibility. It's not my fault that I learned that from a Spider-Man movie. It's true. It's so true. It's so true. Just happened to learn it from a Spider-Man movie. So don't tell me we can't learn stuff from TV, right, y'all? Tell me that crap. We got an ex-staffer from Oakland. The mayor speaks out. Remember that Oakland mayor that stole all that money? One of the people that's her staffers is like, oh my God, are you serious? I would never think that she would do something like that. Oh my God. I think she lying. She just really good at acting, y'all. Tell me what you think about this lady right here. This is one of the staffers that's saying like, I don't think that she, I can never believe that she did something like this. She knows she was getting $20 off every $100. Stop fronting. She knows she was getting her cut. So stop fronting. Let's go. She knows for a fact that she was getting her cut. This is the ex-staffer right here trying to act like she ain't had nothing to do with it.
Former Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao awaits her next court date on federal bribery charges. One of her former staffers claims she was alerted years ago to the alleged crimes.
NBC Why you ain't say nothing though?
Spoke to one of the whistleblowers in the case who testified.
She was alerted to it years ago. She probably stepped to her like, look, I already know what's going on. I'm gonna need $20 off every 100. So my snap, get my snaps together. Remember how I always say it? Remember the wash when Snoop Dogg told Dr. Dre, man, you don't got no snaps on the petro. You get your rent together. You're delinquent. So she's like, yo, I want 20 off every 100. That's what she told the lady. And she gonna tell on her too, because she in jail now.
Fight before the grand jury.
Just weeks after the celebration in 2022 when Sheng Tao won the election for Oakland mayor, her former chief of staff, Renia Webb, says she started having concerns.
When the FBI approached me, and what I found out was just heartbreaking, and knowing that it would put Oakland further behind than we ever have been.
The bribery investigation into Tao, her longtime partner Andre Jones, and local businessmen David and Andy Duong.
Hold on a minute. Come on, y'all. Tell me this is not simulation. Now, the brother that came out with the shades looked a little shady. Right. You tell me he don't look like somebody off GTA, Grand Theft Auto or something like that. This dude has on a white suit with a blue tie. I've never seen this get up in regular people just walking around going to court. He got on a white suit. Like, you know something is going on with this dude right here. Like, come on. This is her business partner. He just like one of them dudes that just be like in the club pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Got the section and all of that. Got the shades on. Come on, man. You're not doing no government business. Stop it. if you think you're going to make a profit.
Time partner Andre Jones and local businessmen David and Andy Duong started before the election. The Department of Justice alleges Tao and her partner sold business contracts and powerful positions for profit. Webb says the FBI approached her that December and she started to help them build.
Oh, she was
build
telling.
a case.
And it's just sickening that we were running a campaign telling people one thing, making promises to take care of our city, and all the while you and Andre were in the background conspiring to be crooks.
Webb claims when she confronted Tao with questions about Jones allegedly selling positions, Tao already knew and encouraged her to stay silent.
That's when she told me, oh, you're going to be making close to $200,000. Let's set up our families for life. And I was like, no, thank you.
Webb resigned at the end of 2022.
She said, I don't want 200. I ain't getting down like that. I ain't here for that. I want 400. I ain't giving you 400, but I'm telling.
After she says she was harassed and targeted. She says she tried to alert the Oakland City Council and others, but says they all dismissed her, some accusing her of having mental health issues.
I don't have no reason to lie. Like, why would I walk away from close to $200,000 to take about a 400% pay cut if it wasn't for a reason when I worked so hard to get her in the office?
The federal indictment alleges the Duongs funded a $75,000 negative campaign against Tao's opponents before the election and made $95,000 in payments to her partner for a fake job. His attorney says Jones vigorously denies all allegations, saying in part he looks forward to the upcoming court proceedings, which we are confident will establish his innocence.
Nah, I don't know, y'all. I was just joking. I don't know if she did all that. She could be, real serious about her position and everything. I don't want to just put that off on her like that. I was just joking. Just a little bit of banter while we on here. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's kind of crazy. And how come it's always so much money? Like, that's a stupid question. We asking why is it always so much money? She said $200,000. Why don't we just set up our families? She was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So at least she does have some sort of, valor and integrity and pride. You know what? She might be the next person that needs to run for office. The person that turned down that bribe. So hard out here nowadays to stay on point and to stay, reputable and to have a standard. So you know what? Instead of joking on her, maybe we should incentivize her. Maybe she should run for office because we do not have that many people that really believe in citizens and what do they call that? Civil, what they like civics classes and all of that. It's being civil with people. I like the way that this person, that assistant, handled herself on that. So even though she told it, it was cool the way that she got down and did that. All right, what we got going on right now is the LA mayor. We finally need to see what's going on with this lady because, Karen Bass. I don't know if you guys remember last week where Trump was basically having a sit down and he basically said, had everybody ask the questions while they were in front of her. And the reason why he did this is because of the simple fact that he wanted to make sure that those questions were asked while he was being videotaped, and so that they can use it as what do they call receipts now? Well, you did say you were going to do this. You did say that you were going to not have all of the red tape, because Trump immediately said that they were going to cut the federal funding, but it was up to the mayor. I mean, not cut the federal funding, cut all of the federal permits and all of the red tape that would be necessary in order to get certain things going. He said that he's going to cut all of that. And he asked the mayor, would she be willing to do the same thing on the state level? And then she agreed to do that. But now, she's changing her, she's moonwalking on that. She's moonwalking on it, and everybody's like, okay, you said you were gonna let us go ahead and clean up our homes. So what's going on? So they're basically pressing Karen Bass to try to find out when they can go and take care of their homes and start the cleanup efforts so that they can start to get back in their homes.
Most of the people we spoke with did not have much to come back to. In fact, they told us they were stunned by the sheer scope of the damage. And the city is still telling people that the toxins are in the air and in the rubble, so it is not safe to be up here for long. Still, for the very first time in weeks, we're actually seeing traffic on Sunset Boulevard. It's devastating. For the first time since the fire, the Williams family and others were allowed to return to the rubble of their Palisades home.
5 generations of memories.
They're flooded with memories and questions.
Where do you even start?
For Mayor Karen Bass, about when they can clear debris.
We can't move forward until our properties are cleaned.
That first needs to be inspected for toxic materials.
I want them to just be truthful. If they honestly think it's going to be 18 months, then tell me it's going to be 18 months.
We just talked to some homeowners who are frustrated because they say, is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 18 months? We just want a straight answer.
A couple of things that we're doing to really help speed it up is to get people to go to the Disaster Recovery Center now, next week or the week after when we open up the one stop, so they can begin all of that paperwork now.
That was the mayor's response initially, but on a walk with the press through the burn area and after pressure for a more specific timeline.
People are still asking how long this inspection process will take with EPA.
She gave a different answer.
It would be nice if we could say by here it will be done, but that's why they have given us a range, and the range is from several weeks to 3 to 4 months.
The mayor and Steve Soboroff, the real estate developer and former LA police commissioner she tapped to lead rebuilding efforts, insists they will use all money at their disposal to expedite the process. Bass also tried to allay homeowners' fears that parts of the Palisades could be rezoned.
Nothing is going to be done to Palisades. What will happen will be done with people who live here.
And although the focus was on rebuilding, the mayor did address a question about why a nearby reservoir was empty when the Palisades was burning.
There was a tear in the cover, and that's for potable water, and so the state required it to shut down. And so the company, the one company that does the work, was backed up and will begin the work shortly. All of the other issues are going to be investigated. You know that the governor has called for an investigation.
And we picked this corner to go live for a reason. Steve Soboroff says for the community to come back, so do businesses like this one. And that's why he's actually calling on Ralph's, which burned about a block from us, to reopen or open a pop-up shop, rather, at this building here. And he wants them to do that as soon as possible. He also says he's talking to other business leaders like Rick Caruso, and he's very optimistic. In fact, Steve Soboroff made this prediction. He says he believes there will be a 4th of July parade here in the Palisades this summer. Live in the Pacific.
I don't know about all that toxic stuff and everything because the air, I mean, it looks clear. I don't want to just start making stuff up. But you know, people want to start to get back home. You got to realize now, something that I thought about yesterday when I was looking at something on YouTube where they were talking about the children, you know, because the children that were probably rushed out of their homes, that were crying, you know, they're not able to go back to like their rooms anymore, their clothes and stuff like that. So, and this is not all just like multi-millionaires and actors. Certain places in the Palisades just had families and people with homes and people that struggled and, you know, worked hard to get what they have. So they just want to go back and clean up what's left to try to rebuild. That's all that I think that they should let them do that. I understand the toxic air and all of that stuff, but that means that maybe they need to hire more people to go out and do that research so that the recovery effort can begin faster. And don't lie to people, because every time you tell somebody something, when they're expecting for you to stand on your word, and when that time comes, actions don't get implemented, then you start getting pushback. So again, we have to cover stories like that because it's very important, you know, to let people know what's going on a mass scale. What's going on here, y'all? What's going on, everybody? Let's see what we got in here. What we got in here? Hair bags are us has demonstrated written all over it. Jonathan McDewitt, of course, there's toxic air. Yeah, there is. There is. You're right. That's why I said, you know, you can't, you know, you can't neglect that. You can't not say it's not a possibility. Jay Izzo, Infinity. When I had a fire, when I was a kid, the fire department wouldn't let us until 72 hours aired out. 72 hours, that's it? Amanda, thank you. Tamara, she has blood on her hands. Damn, I said that word. I probably shouldn't have, but I said it. Hair bags are us, has Democrats written all over it. J Money, We about to make California great again. Gaia Bear Claw, good morning. Gaia Bear Claw, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Where we at? Where we at? Let's get those likes up, y'all. We got 44 likes. We got 300 people in the building. Let's double tap that screen so we can get to this next story, because this one I want you guys to know about is very important. I never took the jab. I'm going to be real careful about this story too, because we on a real thin razor line right now. I'm really trying to make sure I get you guys this stuff without getting myself in trouble. So this is another story I want you guys to see. Not going to talk too much, but think you guys need to see what's going on here. Again, it's the bottom line. Information has to be provided in order for us to determine what we're going to do moving forward. So here we go. This got to do with the jab and a lot of doctors having something to say about the jab, because some of the people that didn't take the jab are lucky for not taking the jab. And a lot of other states and countries are not even accepting it into their country. No more the jab. Watch this.
5 years since the start of the pandemic and COVID-19 is still able to stir up controversy. A task force in Alberta quietly released a new report recommending the halt of vaccines. It also criticized the use of lockdowns and questioned mask mandates. CTV's Kathy Lee has more now on the report and the backlash. And Kathy, what are doctors saying?
Sandy, the doctors and infectious disease experts CTV News spoke to say this report presents a very focused and incomplete version of many facts. The $2 million report was commissioned by Premier Danielle Smith and is meant to offer recommendations to the government. A task force, including healthcare professionals, academics, researchers, and advisors, were part of this report. Some of their recommendations include the government immediately stop the use of COVID-19 vaccines without full disclosure of potential risks, Alberta refrain from future mask mandates for respiratory illnesses, and the report criticizes the use of lockdowns to control the spread of the disease.
There's a lack of objectivity. These are not people who are being objective about the situation, trying to give the best advice that the Alberta government and Albertans should be following.
Experts say there is concern about the influence of a report such as this, not just in Alberta, but across the country.
So we have to have faith that vaccines work. Vaccines have changed civilization over the past 2 generations. It's problematic to me that as many...
This is when I would like to press that button and show y'all that clip with, what's his name, Bill Gates, talking about need to lower the population. So a lot of people are skeptics when it comes down to jabs. Not gonna go too far.
Is 35% of parents in Canada may no longer believe in vaccination for their children.
Social isolation and masking, obviously if you're sick, staying away from public, and then, development of vaccines. All these things we're going to need in the future at some time, and we need to make sure that the public will listen to science.
The province says it will review and consider the report and its findings. But
I believe what they're saying. I just think that they need a non-biased, non-partisan group to look into every single one of those. Look into every single one of them to make sure that they have what they have in them and not anything else to make you go bad and up hype things that can actually hurt you. Yeah, we're going to talk like that if we have to. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And I hope you got enlightened off of that. It's not just the story. There's more. Because if they saying that up there, what does that mean to down here? Put some fat, like Pimp C used to say, put some fat on your brain. Put some fat on your brain. So now we at the point where we got Trump's rescinding the federal freeze. So the same way you can freeze, and y'all saw in the Batman movie, he was able to freeze, he was able to unfreeze. I'm assuming that a lot of these things were unfrozen due to the fact that the ramifications. When you stop one thing from happening over here, it starts the chain effect. So you might be wanting to shut this down over here, but once you do that, you got to remember that might supply something else. When you got to fix your computer sometimes, you unplug it before you change a component inside of it so that you don't get shocked or you don't damage anything, right? The same thing goes for this situation right here. If you freeze something, you're stopping other functions from happening going forward. So that's, to me, one of the reasons why I think, come on, y'all, we gotta use common sense. It's not always what they tell us. Who's benefiting in the long run? Always think that way. Who's benefiting in the long run? Not the smoke way that they get to the run, to the touchdown, because they can hook and juke and do all of this until they get to the touchdown. But you know how you really find out who's got something to do with something? Whoever made the most money. So now he froze it, and now he's unfreezing right now because, hold on a minute. Boop, boop, boop. Where we at? There we go. Thought I lost that clip. I would have been tight. I'd have been like, yo, do me a favor. Give me a second. I got to find this clip. Y'all cool. Y'all would have did it for me. So hold on a minute. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Welcome back. Breaking just moments ago, the Trump administration announcing it is rescinding a plan to freeze federal spending for a wide range of programs. This comes only a day after that initial announcement by the White House. Let's get right out to correspondent Libby Dean, who is live there in Washington. Libby, what can you tell us now about this about face?
Yeah, this is an about face and a lot of confusion really yesterday when this came down, this decision from the White House to freeze federal funding here. Now, what we're hearing from the White House, we're actually just getting a statement from the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. She tells us that in light of the injunction, OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, has rescinded the memo to end any confusion. That's what I was talking about, that memo there, and how they are rescinding it. Now, important key part of her statement here, the executive orders issued by the president on funding reviews remain in full force and effect and will be rigorously implemented by all agencies and departments. Basically saying that this is still in effect on the executive order front. But of course, we saw that reversal from OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, that was signed off from them, reversing this federal aid funding freeze, but a lot of confusion and questions on what that meant, and a lot of actually feedback from GOP lawmakers even on Capitol Hill, and a lot of actually feedback from GOP lawmakers on the executive order front. But of course, we saw that reversal from OMB, the Office of Management and Budget.
So the reversal came from the Office of Management and Budget. And that's probably, again, the office that looks over, hey, if we shut this down, that's going to stop. If we shut this down, I know you want to shut down doing that thing over there with the DEI, but part of that funding goes to this. So if you shut that down, it's going to hurt this. And if that happened more than one time, it's like, okay, let's pull back on the freeze. Let's figure out what we're going to do. And then we're going to come at it from another way. And also what I also heard in a lot of the mumbo jumbo talk was, they're still implementing some of these freezes, but just doing it in a more independent aspect. Like yesterday, he said something like he caught $500 million about to go to Afghanistan for condoms. So they're still looking at it on an independent scale, just not freezing everything, which I think they should have done in the first place. Sometimes you write a check that you can't cash. And it happens like that. Sometimes I do something and want to, it happens like that. Sometimes you'll want to do something and you can't get it done the way that you want to. But what the smart thing to do is, double back, freeze, unfreeze, and come at it from a different way. So I can't really knock it. And I'm not really too mad about, the fact that people, are saying a lot of stuff about it in a negative manner, like, oh, he's going to freeze this, he's doing that, because you're riling people up the same way the tariffs are riling people up. Every time somebody threatens with a tariff, government has to understand and people have to understand. If you're a businessman, it's a business tactic. We don't necessarily use it, hasn't used it for China, hasn't used it for Cuba, but it's a threat. And they say, you know what, I don't even want to deal with it. So let's deal it. Let's go ahead and do what he's trying to get us to do. And now we don't even have to implement the tariff. But it's like a chess piece that you can use. You can send your big piece out there. Man. Y'all remember that one, right? Man. And they're going to be like, you know what? I ain't messing with man. All right, we're going to give them what they want. We're going to give them what they want. So yeah, that's basically why the federal funding freeze was unfrozen, because in reality, the Office of Funding, they already knew, like, look, we want to shut this stuff down, but it affects other portions of the government that need this funding. Bottom line, that's why I do this. Let's go. try to get a little bit more of what she got to say. I don't think it's too much, but we're going to take what you got. Let's go.
It was signed off from them reversing this federal aid funding freeze, but a lot of confusion and questions on what that meant, and a lot of actually feedback from GOP lawmakers even on Capitol Hill about this. But the White House weighing in, telling us that this is not necessarily a reversal of Trump's executive order, instead a reversal from OMB.
All right, so Libby D, live for
Okay, so OMB shut that down. And again, if it's like that, it makes sense. Sometimes you're not paying attention to something that somebody else is. You tried to write that check, you wasn't paying attention, man. And the same thing that happened with the judge that blocked the rights for birthright citizenship, trying to get a lot of stuff done, but it can't get done. So people, don't be scared. If you're like a Democrat and you're out there scared thinking that he's going to do all of this stuff and he can automatically get it through because he's the president, it's not like that. There's other people that has to vet and sign off on this stuff. If you're a Republican, you already know that he's going to keep on pushing until he get it done anyway. So it is what it is. Sometimes you put a piece out there so people can make a move, right? Put the piece out there and let them go take it. And then you come with a bigger piece. Bang! Gotcha! So I'm telling you, it's tactics, y'all. It's tactics. And you can't get mad. You got to get smart. That's all you got to do. Because if you know, the way to win is knowing how to play the game. And the better you play the game, the more you win. Ain't that true? All right, let's go. What we got? Uh-oh, we got a brawl. We got a brawl. We got a fight going on, y'all. That's right. We had a fight at, what was that? Tiffany, what's her name? Tiffany Henyard. There was a fight. Oh, you're not, I threw the punches and I lost it, but guess what? Still gonna put it up there. Tiffany Henyard, what I can recall, because I watch my videos, and even if I lose the script, I remember it. So basically what was going on is they were having a town hall, and there were certain words said about Mrs. Henyard that her friends and her followers didn't like. And next thing you know, they wanted to fight, and they started throwing blows. And they did. And here it goes. Here it goes.
Well, Thornton Township government devolved to a new low after a fight break.
I mean, they took it to the streets, in the mayor's office, y'all, at the township hall. They literally took it to the street. This will happen when you get black folk in office. I can say it because I'm black. This will happen when you get black folk in office. What? You said what? Or whatever. Take my wig off. Boop, 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 boop. Because you know they're going to take their wig off before they get in a fight. They ain't going to mess their hair up. You know what I'm saying?
Thornton Township government devolved to a new low after a fight breaks out during a meeting. Now, it appears that fists began to fly after supporters of Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard confronted a critic of hers who had called her an expletive.
Boop, boop, boop. I gotta block that.
The chaos erupted during last night's meeting when, during the public comment portion, activists.
You give eye exams.
I give fresh starts, better vision, healthy eyes. Everybody wants that.
Hero Doc saves vision.
Well,
Hero Owl saves money. Use your vision insurance for exams, classes,
I
and
gotta
contests.
be careful on that because I don't want the fight to break out. I get in trouble. I don't want y'all to see the scrapping. I'll get in trouble for that, but I gotta ring it back.
Chaos erupted during last night's meeting when, during the public comment portion, activist Jedediah Brown called Henyard an expletive. And when he appeared to walk toward her, her supporters, including Henyard's boyfriend, confronted him. The result, an all-out brawl. To the surprise of some, Henyard herself joined the melee.
It's one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was just taken aback. I was floored.
Police were called and Brown was removed by security.
Yo, hold on. We got to see that again. What we have with these likes real quick? We got 65 likes. We got 430 people in the building. We ain't got no snaps on the coffee over there, but that's all good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got nothing on my coffee, but I got coffee in the kitchen. But out of these 430 people, I want to show the rest of this video. Do me a favor, double tap that screen to let everybody know what we're doing. Been up since 6 o'clock in the morning, bringing the bottom line to y'all with all of this heat. Come on now, show some love to your boy so that the people know that we here, so that we get some more love. Let's do that. You guys appreciate the content. Double tap that screen. What we got right here? We got Oscar Hayes says, I can just watch news clips on my own. You damn sure can, Oscar. You damn sure can. So you can go somewhere else. You ain't got to watch here. Make LA great again. Another like for you, bro. Appreciate that, Hair Bags Are Us. Oscar, you want to just go ahead and get blocked? Let me just go ahead and get you up out of here. Let me help you leave. Because men out here hide users on this channel. Boom! Out of here. You ain't know that I was, what you call it? I'm my own moderator. We got Oscar up out of here, y'all. Oscar thought he was slick, saying what he want to. MAGA domination. Okay, there y'all go. There y'all go. Gee, I wonder why they all get preemptive pardons. I wonder why they get them. Yeah, Jazz, check yourself, because I'm my own moderator. The worse you get, bow, out of here. I got the J&J when it's first came out. I know it done damage to my body. My daughters aren't, yeah, pure, yeah, already. And I ain't gonna say it neither because might try to come and get, I'm getting bad flashbacks from this. Yup. Yeah, I bet you are. But you need to be aware of it. That made me hungry and I felt fine. But after my booster, my skills then started acting Will's near. Yep, my homegirl got kills and answer off of it. How about that? PTSD. Yep, my homegirl got kills and answer off of this. And I'm saying this is Bugatti talking. Real talk. My homegirl got kills and answer off of it. Other ones started having all types of Hills Knot problems. Ain't having it. Ain't do it. So yeah, that's it. And the ones that didn't, y'all be safe out there. Don't even talk about it. Don't even say that you didn't get it. Don't even talk about it. Real talk. Leave it alone. Because them is the ones that they want. And the sad part about it is they putting it in the food and other stuff. And those farmed fish and things of that nature have certain types of vaccinations in it. Please watch the food that you're eating. All of the farmed food, it's in there. It's in there. It's in there. Yeah, we did enough on this. Oh, matter of fact, no, because I told y'all I was gonna let y'all get some more. So let me just go ahead and bring it back, rewind. Bring it back, rewind.
Join the melee.
It's one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was just taken aback. I was floored.
Police were called and Brown was removed by security. Before the fight broke out, township trustees were able to address important issues. They finally approved the township's tax levy ordinance and insurance, ending the shutdown. Now, the board also voted to put on paid leave 2 of Hinyard's associates, one of them being her boyfriend. They also voted to hire independent auditors to look into their work.
So how she got her boyfriend working there? What's going on? Like, oh my God. Thornton Township, I don't know what y'all allowing. I've been hearing this lady's name for months. I don't know Thornton Township, but I know Tiffany Hinyard. And every time I hear this lady's name, it's always some drama going on. Now we up to a street brawl inside of a government building. And she's still got power there to do stuff, to influence. And now we find out that her boyfriend has just gotten suspended. He just scrapped with a whole crowd of people. What is he doing in the first place? Dude, LeBeau said she's very corrupt. This is crazy. Wait a minute. There's the same real clown, dumb people that's in the township. Yeah, they're the same real dumb people in that township. Yeah. Good center. Hippo ways, your boyfriend can have a job. Why her boyfriend can have a job? Yeah. Yeah, like what's up with that? And they knew. You know. So why is there not people just walking up like, so why does her boyfriend have a job? Like, what's that about? It's automatic corrupt. And then she give him a crazy high salary. I guarantee you he's making like $300,000. Probably working part-time, because you already know that government officials don't have to work that much. As long as you got a job, you can be picking up the phone from where you at.
As part of all the ugliness that represented associates, one of them is ending the shutdown. Now, the board also voted to put on paid leave 2 of Henyard's associates.
And it's paid leave, so they still getting paid even though they on leave. Her boyfriend.
One of them being her boyfriend. They also voted to hire independent auditors to look into their work. This as part of all the ugliness that represented last night.
Watch breaking news on you.
And this is going to be the first time I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you, not like I'm not always honest with you, but about this topic right here. And because it's important, I'm going to just tell you, I did not watch this clip. I didn't watch it. I don't know what it's about. This clip I'm about to show you, I don't know. I didn't see it. All I saw was the title. And from the title, I just put that to the side. I planned on watching it, but I didn't. So I'm being honest with you guys and letting you know, we watching this clip together. For the first time, we watching this clip together. And I'm going to read what it is. A group of thieves allegedly steals a subway train in Queens. Wouldn't you want to see something like that? A group of thieves who stole a subway train? This is like, what's that movie with Wesley Snipes and the guy from Cheers, my boy Woody? It's like when they stole that train. Like, are you kidding me? So a group of thieves. This is how brazen and crazy it is in New York. Anything that you think of, give it a couple of days. It's going to happen. So let's check this out. You could just make up stuff now in your brain and it's just going to happen. You don't even have to, you don't even have to wait for a movie. You can make it up.
Ride on a stolen subway train. Right now, police looking for 3 thieves accused of Now to a joyride on a stolen subway train. Right now, police looking for 3 thieves accused of taking the train over the weekend.
And News 4's Charles Watson talked with the riders, joining us live from Long Island City with their reaction. And Charles, the latest now on this investigation.
Yeah, you can't believe it
Yes,
either.
it is. Look, taking a train on a joyride seems unimaginable for a lot of people. So this latest incident has a lot of riders we spoke to wondering how it could happen here. It's not every day trains like this end up somewhere they're not supposed to be. Saturday night, the NYPD says several unidentified individuals stole an unoccupied R train. It happened around 10:20 near the 71st Avenue station in Forest Hills. Police initially responded to reports of vandalism, but were met by an MTA employee who reported several individuals boarded the train and then proceeded to take it on a joyride for a short distance.
That's insanity. It's crazy.
Riders like Chris Patino were stunned.
I've heard of kids surfing, but as far as hijacking a train and driving it, not too often, but it should never ever happen.
Some riders questioning MTA security after a number of concerning incidents, including one last September where police say 2 suspects entered the Briarwood subway station and stole a train. The teens in that incident were arrested after allegedly crashing the train. And then there's this incident from December of 2023, where several suspects swiped 2 trains in Forest Hills and took them on a joyride before ditching them.
Just the thought that there are people that are not trained that are, spearheading the travel is not ideal and it's very concerning.
But the fact that y'all smiling behind it, it's not even funny either. And another thing, what if they was driving that train, blocked another train, boom? It could just be so crazy. So I know people probably looking at this like it's funny, but to me, there's so many reasons why it's not funny. Real talk. Not only that, but that shows you, again, we're the most expensive subway system in the United States. We're almost $3. We got congestion pricing going on. We're supposed to be secure, but we got people stealing trains. Stupid. So Joku Hoku strikes again. And that's the governor's name. Joku Hoku and the commissioner, the one that's scared to go down into the subway station. And now they're talking about 2 police officers on every train. So what happened with this train? Was they on the car asleep? That goes to tell you that there's not 2 police officers on every train. Nowadays, it's rare to surprise me. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Jay Izzo. Real talk. Real talk. Sean Shuro, you know it, man. Real talk. Real talk. Y'all do me a favor, double tap. We still going because now we got Mr. Big Shot in Chicago who was acting like he wasn't going, get down to lay down. You know what I'm saying? The mayor of Chicago, y'all remember, sanctuary city man. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to protect the illegal migrants no matter what I got to do. I'm going to use state and city funding if I got to do it. Well, guess what? It's time for you to answer, man. They asked Mayor Johnson to testify before Congress in Chicago about the city's policies. And things are getting really tight for Mayor Johnson because this is just the dessert. We have a maraschino cherry that we're about to put on top. First, we're going to talk about the fact that he's being called to testify before Congress. Let's get into that first. Because as you guys...
We reached out to MTA to see if they were operational camp.
As you guys remember, he was really strong and stern on his position about not letting ICE come into the city of Chicago, not having the police officers help the ICE and federal people with the migrants. No help at all will be coming from the city. That's what the mayor said. You guys remember that. So yes, he's been called in to talk before Congress. Check this out, you guys.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's summons to Congress to testify about Chicago's status as a sanctuary city. We have learned this letter from the House Committee on Oversight and Reform was delivered to City Hall today. It, quote, invites Johnson to testify at a public hearing on Capitol Hill, February 11th. The letter states that there are 12 states and hundreds of cities and counties with sanctuary laws or policies, but it singles out Chicago, New York, Boston, and Denver as cities that fail to comply with federal law. The letter says, quote, citizens of all 4 cities have suffered due to sanctuary policies. The mayors of those other 3 cities reportedly received the same letter, and we have reached out to the mayor's office for a response.
I need y'all to walk with me on this one because we talked about another mayor earlier, and that mayor was Mayor Eric Adams. And he was in New York, and he is possibly going to have his federal charges dropped to the point where no more charges at all. Okay. He's also been going to Mar-a-Lago, having conversations with president and playing ball. Open the doors for Tom Homan, as well as the ICE capture of many illegal immigrants is starting already. May even not even have to get a pardon because his case is about to be suspended. Now, we just looked at Mayor Johnson in Chicago. He was talking all of this banter, saying all of this stuff, and Congress wants to bring him in because federally, we will shut your funding down if you continue doing what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's what that call is about. And not only that, it's real easy to talk a lot of crap when you're being interviewed, but when you're sitting in front of all those Congress people and everybody's asking you questions, I understand, yeah. Because now you done wrote a check that your ass can't cash. Not only that, the same way they can weaponize the departments to go after certain people, it could possibly happen to the mayor of Chicago. Because when they're trying to come at you and when you're not playing ball, you better not have nothing dirty going on in your house, and your closet better not have too many skeletons in there. And if they find those skeletons, they're going to use them. Case in point, they just found a whole bunch of gifts that were given to Mayor Johnson in Chicago. Also, Mayor Lightfoot, the preceding mayor. They found a whole room full of gifts that were not documented, no addresses, don't know where they came from. And now his tune is really changing since he is now being investigated. Oh, you didn't know that this happens when you don't play ball? That's how it goes when you don't play ball.
Chicago's mayor is not following the rules for gifts he's been given.
Yeah, the Office of the Inspector General tried to get details but was denied. WGN's Dana Revick live tonight on this still developing story. Dana?
Well, Mayor Brandon Johnson calls the OIG's investigation misguided. He told us that he has never seen this so-called gift room inside City Hall. The Inspector General says when these items are not logged properly, it leaves a lot of looming questions as to where they are coming from. And
Remember, he said he never saw the room. Y'all heard that, right? He said he never saw this room before. Mayor Johnson said he never saw the room. Keep on saying it. Never saw the room. Never saw the room. You never saw the room. You don't know nothing about what's going on in there, right? Okay, cool. Let's do it again.
the Inspector General says when these items are not logged properly, it leaves a lot of looming questions as to where they are coming from and the intention behind them.
I don't want people to think, you all, that there's some room in the city government where there's just a wall full of belts and socks and shoes and fancy hats.
It's no secret Mayor Brandon Johnson and previous Chicago mayors received gifts while in office. According to an investigation by the Office of the Inspector General, since 2023, Mayor Johnson has accepted things like Hugo Boss cufflinks, handbags from Givenchy, Gucci, and Kate Spade, a personalized pen from Mont Blanc, and Karut.
And this is what they do. They let it stack. The feds do the same thing. Everybody plays this game. Because if they just come and get you about the Hugo Boss cufflinks, you might stop. And you might like, you know what I'm saying? You might chill out. And you know, the Givenchy bag, that's not too much right there, right? So they let you go ahead and take the Gucci, the Kate Spade, the Mont Blanc, because that's how you're supposed to say it. I used to sell pens, so I know how to say it. It's not Mont Blanc. It's Mont Blanc. All right? And then the size 14 men's shoes. How do you know what size you wear? You never been in that room before. So what's going on here, sir? Size 14 men's shoes? Like, okay, let's keep going.
Gucci size 14 men's shoes. Many items kept in a gift room at City Hall. Can you disclose now, just to give some examples of who sent you these gifts and if any of those individuals or organizations received any?
Now, y'all you don't tell me that's not a face of nervousness. He just said, and another thing, he looks like my brother. I got a brother named Roland, look just like him. Every time he got in trouble, he always made that face. He'd be like this. And that's how my pops always knew that he did something. He'd be like this. And he's like, that's your brain trying to process how to answer, how to come up with a response. You know what I'm saying? Because you got you right on point. Like, I know what you did, and you tell me what you did. You know what you did. I didn't do nothing. And then they just wind up telling on themselves. But he's a little smarter than that because he's a little older. But he's still giving off the same signs, scratching the head. Even me, I notice that when I'm nervous or sometimes or when I'm thinking really hard, my brain itches. So that's a telling sign right there. Let's go back. Let's go back real quick and look at his responses to this questioning. And look at his face. Doesn't he look like the Cheshire cat, like the cat with the mouse in his mouth? Come on, man, you've been caught red-handed. Should have played the game, bro. You should have played the game. And now look at what they're doing to you. It's the process. You wanted to be in government. Now you're in the process.
Room at City Hall. Can you disclose now, just to give some examples of who sent you these gifts and if any of those individuals or organizations received any favors in return?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. It's a mischaracterization of what's being reported. These are gifts to the city. They're logged.
A city ordinance states that gifts...
So size 14 shoes is gifts for the city, y'all. All right? These are gifts for the city. Kate Spade, Gucci, that's gifts for the city. It's gifts for the city. What are you talking about? It's not for me. What are you talking about? That's not for me. Shit is for the city. Hold on. Isha and see that public humiliation tactics. JK, these are gifts to the city.
received must be reported to the Board of Ethics and the city's comptroller, but an unwritten arrangement dating back to Mayor Eugene Sawyer, who was in office in the late 1980s, did away with that process. Instead, since then, gifts accepted on behalf of the city were not reported in this way, but rather logged in a book available for public viewing on the 5th floor of City Hall.
We went to the 5th floor in a covert capacity and we asked to see the logbook. We were told we couldn't see the logbook and that we should submit a FOIA request. We submitted a FOIA request. The mayor's office denied it.
The OIG says it was denied access to the gift room, then sending an official letter requesting.
So if you don't know where the gift room is at, you don't know what's in there. Them size 14s ain't yours. And y'all heard them. Those was gifts for the city. Why y'all can't let them in there? And it's a public room. They're supposed to be able to go in there. Honestly, citizens are supposed to be able to walk into that room and ask for that log without even asking them to put up any paperwork or to sign any applications or anything like that. So they already knew that something was going on when they denied them access to get in there.
Oh, we went to the 5th floor in a covert capacity and we asked to see the logbook. We were told we couldn't see the logbook and that we should submit a FOIA request. We submitted a FOIA request. The mayor's office denied it.
The OIG says it was denied access to the gift room, then sending an official letter requesting a detailed list. It found from February 2022 until the end of her term, former Mayor Lori Lightfoot received 144 gifts, nearly 75% of which had an unknown location. Mayor Johnson has received 236 gifts. Only 12% did not list where they are being kept. The OIG found it was unknown who sent almost 70% of all the gifts.
It's atrocious that we don't know every single person who gave a gift. And it would also be helpful to have context. Why were they getting a meeting with the mayor? And maybe what were they asking for in that meeting if they were asking for something?
And we'll make sure that our team gives you the access that you need so that you can see.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm Kobe, and we got Shaq, and we got Magic, and we're the best basketball players ever lived, living legend. You got a ring, you know what I'm saying? I'm Shaq, that's how we do it. Man, listen, you're caught, and we can tell, because last week it was this. We are fighting. We're going for our illegal immigrants. I'm going to protect all the citizens in the Chicago. Now it's Kobe. We got Shaq. Yeah, French fries. Sweet potato pie. Yeah, you don't even know how to talk right now, huh, brother? Huh, brother Johnson? Huh, brother Johnson? What's going on now? Jabba, jabba, jibba.
And we'll make sure that our team gives you the access that you need so that you can see the gifts that are given to the city, not to me.
He wants y'all to see the gifts that are given to the city and not to him.
The OIG says if these items were not kept in this gift room, they were listed as being in the kitchen or upstairs. They did give a couple examples of who sent some of these gifts. There was a U.S. soccer jersey sent from Nike and also a set of AirPods from the U.S. Conference of Mayors. We also reached out to former Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Her spokesperson said that during her administration, she followed all guidelines when it comes to receiving gifts.
Well, she got 144. He just got in office and he already got over 260 or 240. So he's already outdoing her when it comes down to the gifts. We don't know anything about this. And I mean, unless you're into government, into politics, and you're able to take time out to do that out your day to know that you can go inside this place and look at the gifts and stuff that they're giving. We don't know until they get caught. So that's why, again, we come here, give all this information, we pool it, we gather all the information, and we make our own assumptions and figure out what we're going to do with it. Whoever gave the gifts expects something in return. That's right, Kenny. You're right. And then you got to realize that the size 14 shoes, how do they know that he's size 14? What's that about? Nike, yeah, that's probably just a shirt or whatever like that. I get it. But still, you don't know if that's from the marketing director or a person that, bought that and sent it to him. We just don't know because, again, they don't have any addresses. And with that being said, you guys, I hope you had a fantastic day with me because it's the end of the show. But like I always tell you, do me a favor. Y'all go ahead and click the subscribe, watch another video, and remember, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So till tomorrow, y'all know how we do it. Get 'em!